Okay, so I welcome everybody to today's class, and promises to be an interesting one. And again, it's just one of the way for us as an organization we are giving back. You know, at this period, it's part of our CSR, and we have decided to do this just to add value to people while you are home, while you are where you are. Just to let you know that you also to have plans and be able to lay your hand on one or two things that can also one add value to you and also will get you prepared for post pandemic or post corona COVID 19. Okay, so again, I decided to do this actually this evening because today is my mama's birthday, and I just feel as one of the things to celebrate her birthday. This is an impromptu class, but I said, okay, fine. I will do this just to so give people, since we cannot call for party, and so I said to do this as a party. Okay, all right. So I want to welcome everybody that is already online. Those that are still joining us, I think will join us another line. So I'll be talking very briefly about what I call building group creativity, and I'm sure somebody will be asking that what is the relationship of this to the situation we have on ground, the pandemic, the crisis, global crisis. Okay, we were able to get there along the line, but very quickly, let me, uh, share with us what we do at Lorat Consulting. Basically, it's powered by Lorat Consulting. So this is the second edition of this particular, you know, topic. We've done it before, so we try to do this one more time, and hopefully we'll do it one more time again for those that have been missing out of this. Okay, so essentially for us at Lorat Consulting, we are into full HR services and marketing support services. Okay, so what I will discuss a bit more about our HR services, which I'm sure if you are seeing my screen where I've shared with you already now, you'll see some of the services we render there. Lorat Consulting, we render service in equipment, in training, outsourcing, background check, and strategy and business structuring and processing, what have you. Okay, so these are the things we do, and we've been in this business for over 10 years, and we service both multinational SMEs, MSMEs, private individual organizations, and what have you. And so we thank God for the opportunity to impact a lot of organizations. Tomorrow, actually, we'll be doing something for our clients, for of course across different sectors. So again, to just sit back and support them at this period. So I think we are also privileged to be tapping from some of these benefits as for us from our organization. So I welcome you all once again. Okay, so today, like I said, we'll focus on how you can, build a group, I mean your group creativity, building a group creativity, and then what's your relevance as an individual, what does that have to do with your group, your team as it were. So our learning objective will be to understand the process of group creativity and work towards positive outcome in group work. Okay, to understand how you exploit group knowledge in solving problems, and then to also be able to make a group or team members relevant in actualizing the organization or the group or the project, vision or what have you. So these are some of the things that we our learning curve, as we go on this journey today. All right. So we'll touch on understanding creativity, system models to creativity, roadblocks to creativity, engaging group in creativity, then some group techniques, and then organizational learning. That last one, I will just touch on it. It's a whole subject on its own, the organizational learning and creativity. But again, I'll just touch on it, as we wrap up the class, and we can call it a day. All right. So, what then is a group creativity? Focusing on us and what is relevant. Again, like I said earlier, this period, this season we had, the situation that is facing all of us globally is an unprecedented situation. None of us has lived this before. None of us has experienced it before. And I just say that anyone that I experience it probably will be a baby, and they are old, they are old now. So we are facing this, and it calls for a serious challenge globally. Okay, so then it calls for some ingenuity. It calls for some breaking some bars, doing things that have not happened before, and then for us to solve the problem, because there's no particular solution now. There's no straight jacket solution. Even as of today, people are still putting heads together, putting resources together. A lot of analysis are going, a lot of work are going in the lab to see how this thing can come to, we can get solution to kill, the coronavirus or what have you. And so occasionally like that, as an individual, as a group, we are faced with some of those challenges, and then we have to come out, out of that to solve this problem you know, because I always emphasize the fact that when you work with any organization or you are involved in any project, you are expected to be a solution center. When people bring you together, or when you are brought together in a team or in a group, or you are employed in any organization, you are joining a team, you are joining a group. So what is expected is for you to come and solve problems. So if you are joining a team or you are employed to an organization, and then you are saying there's too much problem, then it means that you don't understand why you are here at the mission. Because if the organization can solve the problem, or if perhaps the people on ground can solve the problem, then there won't be need for you. All right. So when we are confronted with such challenges, then we begin to look at what are the ways, what are the different dimensions, what is it that we can do, to solve this problem. Okay. So I have defined creativity as, you know, a tendency to generate or recognize idea, alternatives, or possibilities that may be useful in solving problems, communicating with others, and entertaining ourselves and others. Okay, let me go down again and say the ability of the decision maker to discover novel ideas leading to a feasible course of action. Okay, lastly, I say here that a creative management staff, or any staff at all, or employee, has the key to the learning organization. So what I'm now trying to say here, that creativity itself is all about solving problems. It's all about coming out with some good idea that perhaps has not been used or not been tested before. Innovation, novel idea. We call the COVID-19 novel because it's a total challenge disease virus on its own. It's new. All right. So a novel disease, a novel virus require a novel solution. And that's where we have found ourselves. Okay. So your creativity requires that you're going to come with something very genuine, that perhaps has not been experienced before. And even if it has been experienced before, but it will be, kind of a new and novel to the solution you have on ground. So let me go further and say, what are the motivations? What are the motivations for, the creativity? All right. So there are three reasons why people, will be motivated to be creative. Okay. And let me say this to you. All right. Again, using the pandemic as an example, because that's what it's all about. And that's even the reason why we start to go to this direction, because all over the world now, people have to work in teams. Okay. The federal government have pronounced for us in Nigeria that Lagos and Abuja and Ogun State be shut down. Okay. If the state governor refuse to cooperate with the federal government, there will be problem. And then for all you care, the crisis will be there and perhaps might be insurmountable. Okay, so we have had to work as a team. We have had to work as a group right now to get solution. Okay, so then what then motivate people, to be creative, because all of the solution we are getting now are creative. I was listening not quite long to the Minister of Health was saying, talking about some uh, what do you call it, traditional medicine, whatever, or doctor are written to him saying that they have solution. Okay, so everybody just trying to look for solution. So what I brought, I mean, that give a little smile, but the truth is that in their own circle, they also feel that they can contribute to this challenge and be able to come up with a solution. So the uniqueness of whatever idea everybody is bringing, once we can get us solution, get us out of this problem, it will be welcome. So what are the things that will naturally, motivate people to be creative? Number one, they need to be novel, to be unique, and then varied idea, the varied idea, and then the complex stimulations also will naturally drive someone, people. Again, we said you need to communicate ideas and value. When you know you could be able to communicate your ideas and value, like I just cited the example of this herbalist, or what do you call them, traditional medical doctor, saying that they also have an idea. If the minister say, okay, we'll receive your letter, but we are not interested in it, then they naturally will feel like they are rejected. So when people come up, when there's an encouragement to communicate their idea and values, it also bring about people get creative. And then when you give them, I mean, they have the opportunity to solve problems. Like I said, that's what we are trying to do now. All over the world, people are working around the clock to see who will come up with the first solution by seeing the scene, and what have you. Okay, so that's just about some of the things that will naturally motivate you because there's a problem. Okay, so for some people, problem motivate them to work and work more harder. For some people, the environment motivate them to be able to genuine environment to be able to come up with fresh idea. For some people, you know, be able to share and communicate and carry them along, giving them sense of belonging. In a team, in an organization, we made them to be able to come out with some form of creativity. So that's very essential. Okay, so in order to be creative, what are the things we also need to, have at the back of mind? Number one, you need to be able to view things in new ways or from a different perspective. So a creative person must be able to be, have that kind of flexibility and wide, you know, understanding of the fact that you must see it from different perspectives. Okay, so when you are in a team or you are in a group of people and then you are saying, can somebody give us an idea how to solve the problem? Somebody is telling you that this was what was done like yesterday, or this is the way we do it. This is traditional. This is our, you begin to find out that that person is not naturally not creative on his own because it's coming with, we already know that this idea is there, but we are having a challenge that we know this idea will not solve. What you are saying to us there, except we go this direction, then we won't get solution. I mean, that's not a innovative or creative person. So you must be able to see things from different perspective, and that's why we are talking about group. When you're able to see things. So the other thing that will also be able to make you to be creative is that you need to be able to generate new possibility or new alternatives. So when you are in a group or you are in it, working with team of people and saying that their continuous chorus is that it's impossible, it can never be done, then I think you are not in the right team. You need to begin to look at what you need to do, how to get yourself rescued from that team. You must be able to work with people that see possibilities. Yes, it's tough. Except somebody is telling us today that we can never find solution to this pandemic, to this coronavirus. It's not possible. There's a solution. There's a solution. In fact, from research, about over 100 years ago or about 100 years ago, there was this same challenge on the surface of the earth. Okay, when some people came up and started saying that it's an antichrist, the end of the world has come, and then we are going to die, and then they know the solution. Then these are people that already they are parochial, they are limited. So number one, you don't even need to start engaging such kind of people because you will get yourself exhausted. Once anybody is not seeing possibility, once somebody is telling you that it can never be done, it can never be achieved, I think don't just argue. There's no point. You just exasperate yourself, you will waste your time, waste your energy. Just keep quiet and just perhaps find a way of going. The best you can do is to try to bring out your idea to convince the person, but you can't engage that person if he's not seeing the light. Okay, so and that person can never be creative. Those are people that they are just narrow-minded. So you can't work effectively and get good results when you have people like that around. However, you on your own part also must be able to see possibilities because you can't give what you don't have. Okay, so you as an individual, you must be able to see possibilities, and I'll get there in a short while. When I want to talk about you as an individual, maybe I should just emphasize that now. Now, when we talk about group creativity, we are talking about number of people working together in a team on a project, on an assignment, or working together to solve a problem. Okay, each individual, each individual that form that team, must be able to, most personally or individually, carry some ideas. They must carry some ideas individually. Okay, so because why? It is a number of people that are working together, not just the group is not just a group, it comprises of people. Okay, so what am I saying in essence is that you as an individual person, okay, must be personally effective. You must be effective personally. You must be effective. You must be innovative. You must have some kind of attributes that naturally we make you the solution center. Because the truth is that we must understand is that in a team or in a group of people, let's say a group of 5 people, the possibility is that it just be someone, just one person that will be able to bring the idea that will work. Maybe one person that will bring the idea that will solve the problem. But however, what we are saying is that everybody that form part of that group must be able to have some sense of belonging. They must be able to see some possibilities. They must be able to look at some kind of direction that okay, this what about this? Even if the idea will not be too unique, if even if their idea will not be the one that will pick eventually or that will solve that problem, because you must be able to reason to bring a creative idea. And so on your own as a person, if you have not worked on your own as a person or developed yourself to the point that you can always think out of the box, you can always see alternative solution. You perhaps you are disciplining yourself to the point that you see yourself as solution center, and that's the level you have to get yourself to. Because why? Whatever you are doing now, wherever you are working now, we are now in a phase that things has changed. Like I told you, things has changed. You are saying things are going to change. No, no. Things has changed. As we speak, we are going to get some new normals. Okay, and like I share with some my clients yesterday, some of people, yesterday, I said to them, look, what is constant is change. And what I said we are experiencing now is change. Okay, so and I recommended that if you have not read the book, Who Moved My Chains, you may probably have to get that book and read it. I think it will open you up to understand change. And we are in a phase that things has changed. And one of the things that I said that is very simple, that perhaps we may not be too conscious about now is that we may never have to shake hands again forever. That may be the new normal. Because why? This pandemic will go, yes, but it will not go at once. It will not leave the countries or each country together at once. So once perhaps it leaves Nigeria, maybe by end of May or June, the possibility is that it will still be in some other locations where they are still trying to finally clear it. Are you getting it? So what that means is that you may not be able to shake anybody again. So the new normal may be you just say namaste, like the Indian will greet namaste. You just greet yourself or just wave at distance. And that is the life we are living now. Okay, so now for about 3 weeks, for about 1 month, for about 2 months, some of us have not been shaking hands. So we are getting used to it. It's as simple as that. So some things are already shifting, some things are already changing. Okay, so if you are thinking that things will change, it's already things have already changed or they are changing at a fast speed. Okay, so what am I saying? For you as a person, then by the time this pandemic is over, by the time you get back to your workplace, or by the time you get back to whatever you do, there are things that has changed. If you have not improved yourself, if you have not added to yourself, you have not gotten the understanding that look, this is not the way we used to do things before, then probably you have to struggle to catch up. And that's what the essence of all of it, because you are still going to work with people. But like I said, the emphasis is on working on yourself, opening up yourself, discipline yourself well enough, and grooming yourself well enough to even be innovative and be creative person. Okay, so when you work in a group, first see yourself as the person bringing the solution. Don't always wait and say, let me see what others are coming with, then I'll be able to have an idea. No. You see yourself as someone that isn't going to solve the problem. See yourself as a problem solver rather than waiting on others, rather than being the one that wants to, raise the praise of other people. Why not your first? Why not this? Why don't you bring the solution? And that's what we are trying to, emphasize. So when we talk about great creativity, and I try to put this as, let's say, it's a social process. I say creativity is enhanced when people work together on a project. Okay, that's right. So as a social process, creativity involves communicating with others to develop alternative ideas and solutions to solve problems. Okay, creativity requires thinking outside the box, and taking viewpoints we don't ordinarily consider. Okay, so in essence, when you work in a team, when you work in a group, no idea is lost. Don't throw away any idea. I think just my encouragement and advice is for as many ideas that comes to you, keep them. Possibly have a book, like said to some people, have a book like you talk your creative book. Write all of them down. Just write them. As it comes and people say to write down, have that book and called creative book. Just put all of those ideas there. When you put them there, as many as you gather, as many as you can get, then you can go back and then begin to see them, go through them one after the other, and look at which one really will solve the problem, which one really. So capture all of the ideas. So there's no idea that's totally going to be a waste. The only difference or challenge sometimes is that the relevance of that solution may not be now, it may be later. Okay, so it's a key an idea, but may not be for now, maybe for later. So capture the idea, then we now go through all of the list of the ideas we have, and then we need to look at which one is more relevant right now, which one can solve the problem, as it is right now. Okay, so we all work, like I said, in a small group. We work in with a team of people. We work to solve problems. Remember this, which is emphasis, even as we discuss is that your creativity or your creativeness is about solving problems. Okay, because you won't see anybody that will be flaunting or going on the road and say, I'm a creative person, and then he wants to raise his shoulder. It's not about that. It's about how many problems you have solved with your creativity. Okay, so, and creativity is not limited to the people you see in the arts industry or people that are performers or sing. It's about, it's all around. It's about providing solution. Okay, so one of the things that that we've seen at this period is that we are now have to make clothes, material, clothes material, nose masks. That's the person that might have come up with that idea is unique and it's being done everywhere in the world now. People are now trying to look at it locally. And as I speak to you, Lagos State is working massively on that. So before you know it now, because one of the new norms for us, at least in the next 3 months, that we all may have, all of us may likely have to be using nose masks everywhere you go. Even when they release us eventually, even when they unlock us eventually, we may have to use masks for the next 2 months. So somebody quickly came up with that, and then we have the material clothes, those masks. Someone got today coming up with another solution. So these are problems everywhere. So this is time to back that your creativeness, your creativity. This is time to showcase that you've got an idea to solve a problem. Okay, so you don't keep your idea to yourself and thinking that people will respect you. Nobody will respect you when they cannot see the solution you have provided. It's only when you solve a problem that people can respect you. If you are person someone that all you love to do is to criticize and condemn other people's idea, then you need to begin to change your perspective, and change your understanding, change the way you think and reason. That you appreciate every idea, even if the idea is not totally relevant to the problem at hand. And also you see yourself as someone that can always be part of the solution, provider in any group or any team you work. So I'll quickly emphasize some few things that can bring about, roadblocks, in group creativity, and then we'll go from there. So I said pressure to conform to group norms. Okay, one of the challenges we might likely face and we face, really, maybe where we work on some location is that when they want to conform to tradition, they know this is not how we do it. This is not how we do it. This is not the norms. This is not the norms. Okay, before now, naturally, maybe for us in Africa or perhaps in Nigeria, you don't shake the elders. You either bow or straight and what else. Okay, so you're already used to that. Okay, probably you shake your guy, you shake your mate, or maybe someone that is senior. Okay, so now that we don't even shake at all now. Okay, so how will your friend even feel? Now everybody just has to say hi, 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 hi. All right. So nobody could not tell you and say, no, this is not how we do this has changed. This has changed. Okay. The flexibility of the fact that they can allow you to think out of the box and come with a unique and different idea from how it's been done will make the group to be very creative. But when you say you want people to conform to the norm, there's a problem. Let me just say what I say. Without some conformity to the group norms, group would not be able to function. However, a preoccupation with group member conformity strive friction. However, strives creativity and encourage group thinking. Okay, when you break barriers, when you allow people to have free will or free mind, to be able to engage their thoughts, come up with creativity, find out that you can get solutions faster. Okay, so we need to be mindful of that, having to echo the norms. In creativity, when you need to get the best out of your team, you don't conform to the norms. You have to think out of the box. All that's important is that there must be solution to the problem at hand. Okay, so again, another thing, okay, let me just say this again that when group members price, okay, my slide is switching here because I'm trying to use, sorry, okay, so when group members, sorry, price unanimity instead of encouraging members to present diverse perspectives, new ideas are unlikely to emerge. Okay, so again, like I said earlier, when they are when you box up people, when you box people from thinking wide, thinking out of the box, then you find out that you have limited solution. In fact, the truth is that you will have limited possibilities because you have already conformed them to to the norms, and people begin to okay, for instance, you need to solve a problem by saying that whatever solution you are coming with, don't ever go this direction because the ND will not accept it or because it's not our style. Then you have limited them from being able to come out with some uniqueness or unique ideas or some solutions that can solve the problem. So what that happens, eventually you will get solution, but what happens is that you probably will take a little more while for you to get solution because you are already limited by the fact that don't go there, don't go there, don't go there. That won't bring enough creativity to it. Another thing that can also create problems in a roadblock is inability or unwillingness to collaborate. Okay, and this happens a lot. Okay, all right. When you have team members or you have an organization, for instance, you have departments that are not ready to collaborate to work together to solve a problem, then you're always going to have challenge. Okay, so and one of the things that comes up is competition. Okay, now, for instance, what is happening again globally? Every country is trying to find solution to the problem. Perhaps it's going to be a healthy competition, but the truth is that there's also an element to work together. Okay, if by the time some nations shut their, shut their port of entry, some have not shut their port of entry, and then some are moving everywhere. We are not every situation. We're going to just create problem, okay? And someone is feeling more superior than the other, or you feeling like, okay, I can do it better than you. That won't be solution. But one of the things I know that goes around that there are sharing of information, there's sharing of ideas all around. Okay, and that is, for example, that's what can make the people from China, to fly into Nigeria to come and support to find solutions, I mean to solve the problem. Okay, so when you cannot collaborate, when you say to yourself, I can never work with that team, I can never, I don't see myself a part of that team, then you are making it difficult, one, for the team or for the organization to get results. Number two, if they get results, then you are also putting yourself at a very bad situation. I always say to this to people, the moment you feel like, okay, you are still in your department, so if I don't go to work today, they will do the job. They will do it well. There's no problem. What you are saying to us is that you are no longer relevant to the organization. Okay, so when there's time for downsizing, just tell you, oh, sorry, we just bring out your file and say, you are after so you are after so because you already told us all ahead that, I mean, not be told that if you don't come to work, the work will be done. So what am I saying? The moment you see yourself as a part of a strategic team or a winning team, then there's a problem. So whatever it's worth, whether you like the person or you don't like the person, once you are involved in a project, don't be a stumbling block. Don't create barrier. Work for the success of that project. You can have your personal differences. And you agree with me, some of the things that's affecting us even in the nation, Nigeria as a player now is because we cannot cooperate, we cannot collaborate. Everybody's coming out with pride. There's a lot of competition everywhere. So it doesn't bring healthy situation and it doesn't help nobody. All right. So and then it limits creativity, in the group, it limits creativity in solving the problem or bringing about the solution. Okay, so let me emphasize that often group members lack the skill necessary to foster collaboration. By focusing on cooperation, group members are more likely to bring their ideas together and create something innovative. So that's what I'm going to say in summary. Okay, because we also have our uniqueness, we have our area of strength, we have our diverse skills. So when we work together in a team or in a group, we expect that you come from your strength, your aspect of strength, not your weakness. Come from your aspect of strength. When you have people from different backgrounds and they come into a team, they're meant to solve problems. That's what is expected of you. So from your area of strength, from your skillful part of you, You bring your solution, and then we can get going. So it's necessary to collaborate. Okay, so then we have what again that can cause roadblocks, what I call defensive communication style. Okay, so when it's about want to protect yourself, want to defend yourself, you just don't want to. Let me just see what I have. I said when the characteristics of group communication include evaluation, control, strategizing, hidden agendas, certainty and superiority. Group members are interacting defensively. Such defensive communication leaves room for room for new ideas. Okay, so when we cannot, bury whatever it is, our ego and pride, to see ourselves work together as a team, then it brings a problem. When you cannot communicate very well, when there's no cordialness, there's no cooperation, it also brings a lot of, challenges and everybody having that agenda because the other guy wants to, just want to get by, want to get a way of getting the first one, or either on people there or on the entire of the team. It doesn't help us be able to have good ideas. Mind you, there's there's possibility that the problem will be solved, but it won't be at the best because there's already some shortfall, there's already gap in the group. Yeah, and this is about individuals. Again, I'm talking about group, but individuals comprises the group or make up the team, make up the group. Okay, so you as an individual, you see yourself and see your role in the entirety in the group. You must see your role in the group. So, and what are your roles in the group as an individual is very important that you must understand that. Okay. All right. So let's move forward. Okay. Then the next one I talked about. Okay. I think I've explained that. Okay. All right. The difference in group members' communication style. Okay. This let me emphasize this. Okay. We are human beings that are made up or wired up with different, what do you call it now? Made up with different personality types, made up with different way of doing things. Some are introvert, some are extrovert, some are melancholic, phlegmatic, sanguine, and what have you. So we have wired different, okay, but we still have to work in a group. Okay, so it's essential that the ones that are well outspoken also understand that there's need to also give room for those that are not outspoken. Okay, you also need to understand the temperament of everybody that are also involved in that. Okay. The introvert, the extrovert, there should be need for us to create balance so that we can accommodate others. Okay, because the usual thing is that when you silence members of the team, the possibility is that the person that has the real idea, the main solution is just quiet. Because why? You have not given him opportunity to express him or herself. So at the end of the day, you have it more tougher, you have it more challenging, more difficult to solve the problem because you have silenced the one that actually could carry the day, that could actually bail you out. So it's very important to understand the composition of team members and individuals that you work with. You know, if I have to talk about personality or all of that, that's another different discussion on its own. But what am I emphasizing? You know yourself as a person, and then so when you work with team people, I mean with team member, and you are meant to solve a problem, give room for to accommodate other people. Allow other people to also have some sense of belonging in the team. Don't because you are very outspoken, you are extrovert and silence every other person. It doesn't bring a healthy, collaboration. It doesn't bring the best out of everybody, every member of the team. In fact, what usually happens is that you find out at the end of the day, people may begin to abandon that team or that group and feel like, look, I can't, I can't just take it. I think I have to go my way. But what that happens is at the end of the day, the problem remains the problem. Okay. And if at all you will get solution to the problem, but you will not get the best that you could have gotten from your team. So if you work with any team at all, I think you need to understand that there's need for you to also be able to, give room for other people. Like I said earlier, you may have a book where you capture all the ideas, have a book where you write all the ideas, give everybody opportunity. In fact, what I do sometimes is that I call your names. You know, if you are in a group, I call you out so that say it, just say anything. All right. So from whatever you say, we can help you. If I thought you could not even be able to, communicate what you intended, we can be able to help you, gather it. But give the opportunity to be able to express yourself when you work together in a team. Because ultimately, what you want to do is to solve a problem. Okay, so always have in mind that your creativity is about providing solution. Your creativity is not about flaunting the fact that you are intelligent. You won't do it alone. The guy is intelligent, but how many problems have he solved? Has he solved? Or you? Okay, so you even when you have an intelligent president and there's no solution, it's as good as a waste. So if you have a team leader who is intelligent and the group is not getting excellent results, it's as good as a waste. Okay, so and we always say this thing about team that your weakest link is as good as your strongest link. So you don't want to leave room for that. You want to carry everybody, you want to give everybody opportunity, and then you want to get solution. So let me go to the next one. I say cultural norms, and this is very again very essential that we mention this. This is how we do it. This is how our forefathers have been doing it. This is our culture. Our culture says that we can't do this, and that has limited a lot of people. That mentality alone has made people not to be able to even advance as an individual. They have not made organization to progress. They have not made some families even static. Because this is how we do it. And this how you do it has made you to be poverty, capital of your state, of your environment. They have not made you to progress because this is how our family do it. This is how the business do it. And there's this definition of insanity. Say, it's stupidity for you to do the same thing the same way and expect what different result. It's not possible. And I like what one of my mentors, role model, says that find what work and work with it. Of course. All right. So your creativity should bring ideas, should bring solution. Your creativity and your innovation should be able to solve problems. Not about this is how we do it, not about cultural norms. Yes, there are some things about culture that yes, we need to be careful. Yeah, we need to, allow. But there's a way we can work around the culture to solve problems. For all you care, our culture is not changing now. Okay, I'm brought up in a, again, happy birthday to my mom. I'm brought up in a house that at 4 a.m. we gather up in the, in the prayer room, and then you pray for 1 hour or thereabout, then you go get yourself dressed, go to school or go like. And then that's a start for me that I wake up naturally 4 a.m. Right? Do my prayer, whatever. So I'm like from home to church, okay, when we're going up. Okay, so but now I guess through I can be able to make decision on my own. But the truth is that in my house, if you don't go to church on Sunday, one you not even eat. And then when you sleep, mama will beat hell out of you. But it's church. Are we going to church now? Okay, our culture is not and the norms not changing. Okay, don't you have to do church in your house now? Now, is it that God will not come to your house now? Okay, some of us say, if I had not gone to Moshalashi, go to mosques. I've seen. Have you been going to mosques in the last few weeks? So culture are changing. In fact, for Saudi Arabia to suspend Umrah, you know what that happened. In 100 years, you have not had it. But there's no Mecca, and you will still fast. There was no Jerusalem. Jesus still resurrected. There was no Sunday service. Jesus still resurrected. So culture are changing. And then there's no, when last did I wear my clothes? I want to go to church. All my suits that I wear around. So it means I can wear t-shirts. Things are changing. All right. So culture are being, changing because it has to give way for development. We have a global challenge. So things are changing. All right. So, okay. So we need to give credence to culture, give credence to some norms. But again, what am I saying? We can't be static. We can't get ourselves bounded by the fact that it's a culture, right? And then we'll not be able to find solutions to the problem. Okay, so things are changing and they're changing very fast. Okay, so uh, yes, we can understand culture, but when we understand culture, we can work around it to solve problems. And that's what I'm trying to say. Okay, sometimes ago, there was a debate about taking the Almajiris away from, Almajiris people that, those small children that begs around in the northern part of Nigeria, taking away from the streets. And then once somebody said that would be, attack on the culture. Taking people away from poverty. As somebody said, an attack on the culture. Are they on the road now? Everybody's locked down now. So where are they? So does it mean it's not attack on the culture again? So is it because we celebrate and then we are taking these things as something that can never be changed, and then we have get ourselves bounded, we get our family, we get our work, we get ourselves, I can never do it. It's not possible. Nobody has done it in our family. Who says you can't be the first person to be the catalyst? Who says you can't be the person to bring the solution? All right. Okay. So these are some of the things we need to understand about creativity. And what is happening around us globally is about creativity. What we are doing now, some of you have never attended any online training in your life. Perhaps you will not even attend one. If not that, now you can't go anywhere. Now you can't go anywhere. Some of us are not even reading. Now we can't go anywhere. You have to wake up in the morning and sleep again. In fact, for me, all the backlog of my sleep, I've done it. Now, yesterday night, I didn't sleep all night. Okay. All right. So this has changing. Okay. So I don't have any backlog of sleep now. All right. Okay, so things are changing. So we need to understand that, and that's what we're talking about. So again, how can we then help our group members, to be creative? How can we encourage our partners, our co-workers to have, to involve creative mind? One of it is to embrace diversity, like I said earlier. When we work in a group, we need to understand that again, there are people of different background, people of different, we are wired different. So we need to encourage people. Some people will say they need to come out of their shell. If you are a team leader, you need to give room to really encourage people. If you're not a team leader, if you're part of a team, you need to also give room and see a way of encouraging people. It's very important. So we need to understand our diversity. I am from the north, I am from the south, but it doesn't matter. What matters is that we have a common problem we want to solve. Now nobody's talking about religion, nobody's talking about race, nobody's talking about tribe. What we want now is we want solution to this pandemic. All right, so you can see what happens when we have a common challenge and we can reason in a common way. Nobody is going to talk about you are from this, you are from that. Now, if I have anything to share now in my area, they won't say whether I'm a Christian or Muslim. They won't say whether I'm not from me. They will collect it from me that thank you for bringing this one. At least this one is solve problem. And that's what we are saying. When you want to solve problem, nobody will talk about diversity again. I mean, talk about what do you call it, culture or tradition again, or tribe again. Okay, so we need to encourage diversity to see people, let people come from their area of weakness or strength to solve for them, and let us encourage them. So that will also get to better. And let us facilitate a supportive communication climate. All right, it's very good for us when we also work in group. Let's have a situation where perhaps you have to break it down to the level of people. You have to be able to describe it, use some different analysis to explain what it is what we are trying to solve, and so people can flow. We can have a common understanding, and then we can support ourselves. If the person or your partners understand, try to go extra mile, because you are working in a group. And the beauty about it is that if your group, if you're able to solve the problem, you get the praise of a group. And I will share this example. For instance, when I was working in capital market, okay, I newly joined the organization, and then I was head of the department. And then I have the guys that are already working in the department that are going to be the head of the department. Okay, so but I'm employed to solve problems. Okay, whether they are there or they are not there, I'm still expected to solve problems. Okay, I could resume and try to say I want to shine because I'm the head of the department. So I've got my crazy KPI, get my crazy target, and I need to show up that I can solve the problem. I could go ahead and do that. But what did I do? I first of all bury my head to learn and understand the culture, understand how it's done, understand the terrain. In fact, the terrain for me, I'm coming from FMCG into financial sector. Okay, so it's totally a different ball game for me completely. To be coming from that angle and coming to join, to join a different team. Okay, so I first put myself to training, expose myself to information. Okay, when I'm able to grow myself and stabilize myself, then I'll be able to help my team members. Okay, so sometimes I take my time to work with them individually so that I can get them to the level I am, and then we can be able to have solution. Because ultimately, as the head of the department, yeah, they could probably notice that I'm solving problem, but I don't have to say I want to shine alone. It's about my team. My team is as good as I am. The result I'm going to get with my team is as good as the result I'm going to get if I have to work in the team, so why can't I work with my team? And then, by the time I work with the team and we get better results, then the praise perhaps will still come to me as a result of the team. But the fact is that everybody is happy, everybody is moving forward. And that's what's important. We must be able to provide an environment, it's a very good communication environment for us to move ahead and get good results. And then the other thing we need to also do, is to also to encourage the team creativity, is to appreciate it. There should be a reward, for some creativity idea or innovative idea. You must learn to reward people. Okay, even yes, you are working with a team, but when you have a very creative, a very innovative idea, learn to appreciate, recognize people. Okay? That that encourage other team members to go extra mile. Then that also encourage the very person that perhaps bring the solution also wanted to do more. So we need to learn how to reward and appreciate people, give incentive, to members of the team. It's very important. Okay, you can't be putting pressure on your team, you can't be putting pressure on your staff, you can't be putting pressure on the people you work with and expect that they will give you extraordinary. You must be able to go extra mile to also encourage them. It's very, very important. And that way you can get solutions. That way you can get new ideas. That way you can get more creativity. What I've understand and what I always say to people is that uh, when we talk about entrepreneurship, for instance, I usually say this that look, for those that work in organization, there are levels. Eh? There are people that are just ordinary staff. There are people that I call entrepreneur. These are people that they are not entrepreneur, they are not the owner of the business, but they see things like the owner of the business see things. What does that mean? They come with more creativity, more innovative idea to rub on the existing idea of the owner and they get solution. So if you have more of such in your system, in your group, you get better results. So and you need to encourage the few ones you have. And now, when you encourage them, then you can get more of them. And then you can be able to create more atmosphere for more creativity, for more innovative ideas. So if you want more solution to the problem, then you need to encourage the few ones that you are getting now. And that's very important. And also encourage, people to be able to collaborate, foster collaboration. You know, what that do is that it reduces tension, reduces conflict, reduces some form of acrimony, reduces some bias or whatever, what formalities. When you encourage people to to collaborate, so deliberately you can pair people together. Deliberately you can make them to work on a project together and create an atmosphere. You can change people, you order it so that from time to time, and with that you can get better results. And for all you care, the people that you feel that are not even going to be able to bring a good solution or good result, you must see them perform. Because while you have created the atmosphere for such, for things like that. And that's why I want to speed up a little now. Again, so the next I also said that also practice what I call active listening. It is very important when you have to get the best out of the team. You have to encourage them. There must be listening as a leader, as a team leader, as a team player. It's need for us to be able to listen. So that's one skill everybody to work on. Active listening. Hearing is different from listening, and we need to understand that. You can hear me. Some of you are hearing me now. Maybe not all of you are listening. Some people are even disturbed by their children now. Some people are disturbed by TV, but you just feel like you just want to sign on to hear whether to just hear me. Okay, so the difference between the person listening to me and hearing me is that at the end of the day, the person listening may actually be able to say everything I have said. That's the difference. So when you work with people and you listen, you will understand the things that are not said. Because when in communication, we have verbal and non-verbal. Okay, so you have some of those things that you say silently are not audible. Okay, so in listening, you will get some of those things. But in hearing, you won't get those things. Because hearing will be mixed with noise. But when you have active listening, then you'll be able to even hear the unsaid things. You hear them, and then you'll be able to work with them. If I, when somebody is trying to express him or herself, and you are listening, you will understand that okay, no, I think I understand how you feel. You'll be able to come up with that empathy and then be able to work together and be able to see how we can solve that process. So it's very important for us to work on our ability to listen. So let me just say this: there is systemic approach to creativity. As a successful group incorporate both innovation and routine in their interaction. Too much creativity can lead to chaos. Okay, all right. So even when you work in a team, like I said earlier, you have what I call a creative team. when you write all of this action. But what happened is that you can reorder the group professionally, you can order the team professionally. If I lead today, somebody else can lead tomorrow. Okay, and then you can create kind of a routine among the team member or your group, to be able to get the best out of it. So constant change leads to lack direction, like I said. So that's also very important for you when you work, when you do that for the team. All right, let me quickly use this. I said creativity to do list. Number one at the top of them is what I call brainstorming. Okay, how do you get best? How do you get people to create? There's need for brainstorm. You know, ask lots of questions. Come up with as many ideas as you can. Do not criticize one another's idea. Free will and share wild ideas. Why crazy idea? Oh, I have this crazy idea that if you carry everybody now that have coronavirus and kill them, then we have solution. And somebody say, why are you that wild? Why do you want us to kill people and then you think those of us that do not have coronavirus will be okay? That's too wide. Okay, it's wide, quite all right, but it's an idea. All right, so you may have that kind of extreme idea. Okay, just why you know that this is totally extreme, but just keep it somewhere because that's not going to be the option. Some people say that what China did, but I mean, we can't find record to that that's what they did. But that's a crazy idea. So that you can have some crazy idea, just keep it somewhere. Just keep it somewhere. Idea. Okay, so expand and elaborate on existing idea. Okay, so possibly sometimes, because within while you are solving problem, there might be some other, records of what has been done before, and that's some of the things people are trying to bring out now, and that's why when you hear Trump saying that chloroquine, malaria tablets solve some problems, okay, chloroquine has been banned almost everywhere in the world, not even in Nigeria. But the truth is that when I heard about chloroquine, I went to the nearest pharmacy. I went to buy, and the guy said that they just sold out now, but they are coming with some parts. And I said, I'll wait. Now I don't have any problem. I just felt like let me just buy the chloroquine in case there may be any need around me. I can give to people. So I bought the 5 pack they brought. I just buy it. Now I wanted to go buy about 10, but they said, okay, this 5 pack I bought it. Do you know that that day before I even got home, I've shared everything and remained just maybe one with me. All right, I don't have a problem. But because the moment we hear that information, okay, so we just try quickly run and buy. So what am I saying? From the existing ideas, you may still be able to have one or two things you can work on that also bring about creativity and bring about solution. And that's what it is. And that's what's going on now. Existing ideas are being reconsidered, are being worked on to see whether we can get solution from there. So some people are working on the malaria tablet. In fact, in Africa, in Nigeria especially, we said coronavirus is a chronic malaria. In here we call the Yoruba will say akoiba. So we say is it when you have the bad malaria, then that's coronavirus. So people are looking, they're not using what you call herbs, using all kind of things that we use here to solve it. So that's why maybe some people are getting solution. And that's why you see a lot of video going on that you cover yourself with the hot water clothes, put rub, all those things that we do in village. Godwin, those things you do in your village before you run to UK, these are some of the things that goes on. All right, so those are the existing ideas. People are just trying to bring some creativity with it to solve coronavirus. But one day, I think there will be solution. So what am I saying? There's need for brainstorming. You must create opportunity for brainstorming. In fact, sometimes you may even shut down that everything you are doing and just say to your team, look, what? Let us just go somewhere and just go and think, brainstorm. And I do it alone as a person anyway. When everything is looking like log jam and I'm not getting direction, I just walk away from it. I just leave it. Then I go and sleep. And when I sleep, I wake up in the morning and I get myself in what I call thinking. I just begin to think, think, think. And before you know it, something will just drop and then that will just okay. Even this idea of having to do this project for my clients was because I took ill for some days, and after I took ill and I got back and I was okay, and I was like, okay, now reality has supporting us, no work. We have to work from home. Now I work in an organization that provides support services. So if our clients are not working, what service am I going to provide? And then I begin to think, and then this idea dropped. Even when it appears people are not working, people need some information. They need things that will get them begin to work on solution ahead of time. And that's how we came up. Okay, let us do this for free. Yes, it's going to cost us something, but let's do it for free. Let's do it for free. And I must tell you, it's getting results because already some people are saying to us, they've said to us After now, we must come and do this training. So we will still make money. All right. So that's the whole idea about having to solve problem and come up with some creative. Because when you be able to come up with innovative ideas, creative ideas, what you have done is that you are creating opportunity for solution, and there's no way you provide solution that you will not get, some appreciation at the end of the day. Okay, so I just said when the brainstorming process, group members take their ideas, the group leader record each ideas, like I said earlier, capture all of the ideas, and then one by one you evaluate the ideas, and then before you know it, you get the solution. So let's look at this for instance. I said this nominal group technique. Number one, each group member write down individual ideas on decision or problem to be solved. Okay, so when you have a common, you have a problem now. So each person that form part of the team or group have to capture their own ideas. So the next step is each member present their individual ideas orally. You might put them together, share your idea with us, and then that the ideas are usually written on board and all of that. Anyhow you want to express it, they just share the ideas. And all members present their ideas. The entire group discuss this idea simultaneously. Discussion tends to be unstructured and spontaneous. That's fantastic. Just have it, discuss it anyhow. Just let everybody contribute to the idea. And then when discussion is completed, a city ballot is taken to allow members to support their favorite ideas without fear. Okay, the idea received the most votes is accepted. What am I saying here? What I'm saying is that everybody has got to write down their ideas, and then you create a opportunity for them to express their idea, explain their idea. Like you are sending that idea to other group members. This is solution. And somebody said that the only solution to coronavirus is that every country should pack all the people that have coronavirus and kill them. Okay, somebody said that's his own idea and he has expressed his idea. That's weird. That is not love. That is crazy. That's madness. But it's somebody's idea. And before you know it, some people are thinking, are you sure this is not even the best way to go? Because you are from the moment you mention it, you say it, you have sold that idea to some people. And for all you care, our mind captures and begin to reason and try to find some definition to it. And it's a weird idea. So at the end of the day, we collect all of the ideas and then we see. Okay, so because this one is crazy, obviously we don't want to take it to ballots. So we sieve and take the one that feel one is not relevant now. Maybe this one, even if it's relevant, is the last result. So it's not now. So you sieve the ideas and then maybe the best out of all of the ideas, the best three. Because why? You don't want to be partial. You don't want to be favorism. You want to have favorism to play that. Okay, I like this person that brought this idea. No, you have given everybody opportunity to express their own idea. Okay, so at the end of the day, we collate the idea, the best of the best of the idea, and then we have votes. Because any of the idea will still be the best. Okay, so you see the idea and then you let everybody vote, and the best idea by vote. What that does is that it encourages people that look. It's not about I'm close to the boss. It's not about I am from here. It's about everybody can contribute, and that gives room for good, environment. Everybody wants to contribute, and everybody wants to, so that we can also, I'll share this slide with us for those of us that are probably interested. Share with us. The same process, but maybe a little twist to that, and then so I can check that and can do that. All right. So, okay, wrapping up. Like I said, I'll just touch on this one. It's a whole lot still on its own, but I'll just say what it is that organization learning is the process of creating, retaining, and transferring knowledge between another. An organization improves over time as it gains experience from others. So what are we saying here? That for all you care, when a team member or when an individual in an organization is able to tap into some form of knowledge or exposure to some of the information, okay, the best way for the organization, when it's organization learning, to get hold of that idea is to allow that person to also be able to transfer those knowledge. Okay, for some of you now, like you are part of this discussion. If you now take your group member and share this idea with them, what has done that this idea you have too has also led to other people. There is retained with that organization. Okay, but when I go for a training sponsored by the company, and I come back and I just said that okay, your entire process of training is meant for me to help me work better on my job. Then that organization is not a learning organization. Okay, because you don't circulate the knowledge, you do not circulate the idea. What happens is that the day I resign, then I go with that information. Mind you, the company paid for it, and I'll go with it. because I've not been able to transfer it. What I'm able to do is to use the knowledge to solve problems on my own job, but I've not been able to share that knowledge with other people. Okay, so because such organization, not learning organization. Again, and what has happened is that when you send a team member, if something happened to us, somebody sent an idea to us and said, okay, you want to run to okay, so what I did was I called one of our team members, you go and learn. When you finish learning, come and teach us. I said, if you guys really came back, I mean, it taught all of us, and I know it, everybody knows it, because we will have even paid for everybody and will have spent more one. We probably would not have said, okay, because actually for our role in the company, that's what she does, and that knowledge will be more useful to her. But we could ask, okay, since it's useful to just retain it, just use it to get solution for the company. But when she came back, we said, share the idea. And before you know it, everybody knows the idea. And then we are all moving on with the idea. So that's the kind of organization that help everybody to grow. And the organization itself retain knowledge. Because when you leave, they still have that knowledge in-house. And that's what it is. And that's where I want to stop, like I said. I don't want to, go deep into that because that's a different model. So, but I will share the slide with us. So for those of us that are interested in that, you can see level of progress. So okay, already 1 hour is gone. So I think at this point I can say I hope I'll be able to educate you, convince you, and not confuse you. All right. So thank you, and perhaps I'll take some questions and then we can call it a day. So let me unmute everybody now. Thank you for that. To listen to everybody. So okay, what's then first stop sharing? I hope you are still there. Okay, so all right. Oh my. Okay, so if we have questions, we can take your question, and then we can move on from there. But please, what you would do for me, maybe okay, all right. I think I will mute everybody, but if you have question, you will let me know so that if you have question, you can raise your hand or just post it or let me know. Then we can then take you. Uh, because the noise is coming out from mics is too much. I want us to also that. All right, so you have contribution. Okay, I don't know who is this. Your name is not I see your hand. Yeah, so you can go ahead. Go ahead. Your noise is the noise is too much. Yeah, go ahead. Who is this? Hello. You're not ready. Okay. Let's have somebody else. Okay, if you have question, let's see. Let's have it. Okay, somebody dropped this question. Oladipo said, talking about collaboration, surely it's good to collaborate for positive and valuable output. However, is it safe to say it is more important for the institution or for process of operation to be powerful to force the collaboration? If yes, what's your advice? Yeah, okay, if I get you right, maybe you are talking about if it's important or if it's good to force uh, collaboration. If you work in a team, you know, already that's your team, so you may not have any choice, and you have to get a solution to a problem. I think the best thing is to look at the issue, look at what assignment you have, than trying to look at individuals. Too, okay, and if for any reason you do not really agree with the person, I mean, the person is good, but the fact that your organization has had to work together and you have to work together. But if you run your own private business and you want to work with a team and you are not too sure you are comfortable, then you can walk away because you run your own business. But if you work in an organization, you may not have any choice. You can't begin to tell your management that look, you need to change my team, change my cycle. You may not be able to do that. You can only but work with the team. So you can be the best hand in the team rather than wanting to, be concerned about the individuals in the team. So you can be the best hand in the team. Just work in your team, work with the team, and then you can get results. Like I said, you'll be more respected when you work in a team and you can bring solution. One of the things that can help you respect anywhere is to work in a team and bring solution. And I've seen that working for me. In fact, one of the things that let me share this experience. Same capital market. When I joined, and I know what my assignment is. Okay, so when I get results, there's some member of my team that are not happy. I know why. When I get results, that means I put more problem or more work for them. That is more work for them. So they will not be happy because that means I'm giving them more loads of work to do. Okay. And then at the point I felt that the entire team was not being supportive. I was feeling totally bad that I'm working a team that I'm not getting support. Okay, until one particular day, and it was our end of the year party, and then they announced that the overall best staff was Ayo Adeyemi. And I was like, how can you give me overall best staff when I'm not getting support of everybody? How can you give me overall best staff? That year, they gave me a check that is heavy. I mean, when I say it's heavy, it's about, I'm talking about 2008 or 2007. And okay, let me mention the check. At least I spend the money. Nobody can come for me now because this pandemic, there's no money anywhere again. It's 250,000 naira check. At some days to Christmas, you can imagine that I'll buy all the chicken that's available. All right, and that's not my salary. That's not my bonus. That's just a compensation and appreciation that I've done well. And I was like, what I must confess to you, I couldn't collect the check. I was crying that this is a team that people are not supporting. But one thing that kept me going is that I focused on the assignment. I knew that people were not supporting, people were not helping me, but I focused on the assignment. All right, so that's my encouragement. Don't join issue. Don't play what I call of dirty office politics. Focus on the job. Focus on the assignment. You still have to work with the team. I have no choice. I have to work with the team. But rather than focusing on what somebody said or somebody did not say, or somebody like me or did not like me, I focus on my tasks, on my assignment. I understand my job. So I focus on my job. So by the time the compensation is going to come, because if I focus on what people say or do not say, they will have distracted me. I wouldn't have performed. At the end of the day, I will be fired. So that's what happens when you work in team. You will usually have people that just want to cause distraction. And you may not, for all you care, they may be getting the support of the management, top management. Okay? But when you focus on the task, when the day of report comes, they can't cheat you because they can see your performance. So they would have no choice than to celebrate you. And that's what happened to me, that particular year. So I have let me see, you want to say something? Okay, go ahead. MC, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. You are on. You raise your hand. I thought you want to say something. Okay, I think you are not saying anything. All right. Okay. Is there any other question? Any contribution? Do we have any question? Any contribution with one of those? Okay, Godwin, go ahead, please. Okay, go ahead, Godwin.
Yeah, thank you very much for the presentation. I just have a question around um working within group settings that would possibly have um some sort of um I'm kind of thinking about when you have individuality and uh collective task and goals. Do you think that competition is a good thing in such settings? And how helpful, um, to what extent would competition be a good thing, a healthy thing within a team that it's working towards collective collective ends as well as individual, because individuals in the group need to show that they have hit targets, and the team generally needs to show that it's also achieving its targets. How healthy is competition in such settings, taking into consideration both individual targets and group targets?
Okay. Okay. I think I get you right very well. Okay. Now this is it. I think the first thing we must always get clear is to first of all define the goal of the group. Okay? If the goal or the vision or the what is expected of the group is that whoever gets the best out of it first, okay, then you now know that naturally or ab initio, the group is set to be a competitive one. All right. But if, like you said, there's a common task, and there's a place of individuality. Now, for you to work in that group, everybody will be coming with perhaps their skill or expertise to get a solution. Okay. So if that's also given attention, for instance, if I take what is happening now, we have a place of the health personnel having to work at this period. But we find out that we can't leave this at the doorstep of the health or the medical personnel alone. They need the security. They need some other support to come along. All right. So if every day the health people or the medical personnel now comes out and say, look, we are the champion, we are the one getting this thing work, then let's leave the security. Then let's leave all the other logistics. Okay? Because that will be an healthy competition. That will be an healthy competition if they feel that they are the most supreme or superior. Okay, because okay, I will say to you now, for instance, in Nigeria, the narrative now is that nobody should come and say that is the most superior here now, because now it's only the medical people that seem to be more superior, saving lives. They seem to be more relevant right now. Okay, but the truth is that everybody knows that yes, they are seem to be the front line. I mean, the front line now, but they also need some other support. Okay, so when you have a team that have an objective and a goal, the best is to play down the individuality. You will still see one or two people trying to play it or to bring it out. If you are the team leader, then you need to be extraordinarily careful, because you need to be able to see that the tendency and cut down. If you have to talk to people one on one, then you have to engage them one on one. However, when you also going to come to open to appraise the performance of everybody, let it be objective. Rest, Mr. Hayo, we can see your contribution. We can see that you are doing extraordinary. But we also want you to know that other people are also working from their area of strength. Okay? All right, because but if you begin to celebrate Ayo alone, what you are doing is that you are even setting up for failure. So, like I said for my example, we are working in the same organization. Okay? But if I do not achieve my goal or my target or my KPI, then I'm already setting up, yes, I mean, set up for failure. Then I probably will lose my job. Okay? But you will also need to understand or agree with me that even at that, even at the fact that I'm running hard, I'm doing it to you. I mean, I'm working hard to get that result. Some people are even seeing me as a problem that I'm giving them headache by my performance. And we are supposed to work in the same team because at the end of the day, we have a corporate objective. But what I did not do and what I ensure I did not do is that I did not focus on the individual. I focus on the project. And I try to bring out my interpersonal skill. That will also be very essential for us as individuals. You must be able to bring out your interpersonal skill. When you work, because you will always work with teams, you always work with people of different character. Okay? But when you have people like that, what you need to do is to bring out your extraordinary skill, your interpersonal skill. If you need to be able to be submissive or submit to them, I mean, not, I mean, I'm not saying you should not begin to make them your idol, but you need to just, just try to play around some things to just get them like you, or get them be able to work with you. Just have to do it, and that's how to do about you, because ultimately, what you want is solution. And the process of getting solution, you will always have fixed one. You always have different challenges. And that is where we now expect you, if you are a manager, to bring out some of those inherent skills that can get results. Unlike someone who, I mean, you want to come back and come to the board meeting or come back and say, look, Mr. White is not helping. Mr. Blue is not just cooperating. They're just giving me trouble. Then the manager will see that. Is that not why we call you a manager? Do you know the meaning of a manager? Manager is to manage problem, not solution. And not result, not success. You are coming to manage problem. Manager is managed. You have to manage it. So it's not that manager is not portfolio, it's not a dignifying name. it's just the job, it's just the definition of the job. Manager, manage problem, manage and get solution. So if you sit in that way, then you now need to know that how do you work with people that are not supportive, people that are not cooperating, people that seem not to understand the goal. How do you work with them to get solution? I think if I attend to your question, I think that should bring our solution. I hope so. All right. So Godwin, okay, I think network, but I hope I'm able to clarify what you have in mind. Okay, so do we sell more contributions, solutions, questions? Let me see, are you raising your hand? I see your hand. You want to say something? Let me see, you want to say something? Okay, I think we are having a little bit of network challenge, but we are back. I think we are having a little bit of network challenge. Okay, so Godwin, I hope that's able to clarify some of it.
That's really good. Thank you. That's really good. Thanks a lot.
All right. Okay, I think if we don't have any other comments, we can then as well, call it a day. I hope everybody's going to get something from here. Let me. Do you want to say something? Eh? Let me. Are you saying something? Go ahead.
Thank you.
So,
Hello.
I can hear you.
Oh, good evening to the house.
go ahead.
We appreciate the conference teaching. Honestly, I really appreciate the group creativity, as you said. It's a good thing, honestly. As in, I appreciate that the people involved in the group must be well knowledgeable, talented, they can carry people along and achieving a great result. But then you mentioned, you stressed some issues about the pandemic around in the world right now. Bringing it back to our country, like seriously, we have a lot of people that can give in their best. But really, as you have said, in fact, I really begin to wonder, don't we have a real means that we can communicate to the government where the people, the masses, can pour out their minds, their innovations, their creativity. Are you getting my points to the
Yeah, yeah,
government,
yeah,
and the government can track or meet by building the nation? God, I'm sorry,
yeah.
but let me get maybe
Yeah, I get you.
just a
I
minute.
get you.
Yes, that they can get in building the nation. And a lot of things I don't understand. I don't understand why the government is not taking from it. I don't get it. I
Yeah,
don't get it. The masses are trying, organizations are trying. I don't get it. I don't get it. All hands on deck. Look at the application of the face masks, the preventive name it, the health materials we can fabricate. The Igbos, the Yorubas, they are there. They are all talented. But what is the government doing? Are they supporting these people? Are they? Are they even recognized? You mentioned in cases where the traditional mediciners, we have this, we have that, but do the government take them? Do they abstract their knowledge? Do they give them room?
yeah,
Are you getting it?
yeah. I get you. Thank you. You see, that's some of the challenge
I'm
we have.
confused. It's very, very pathetic.
Yeah, that's some of the challenge we have as a nation, and that is why if you, some of our best and sometimes tend to leave the country for opportunity of other nations because when when you don't appreciate and you don't reward, innovation, you don't reward your best hands, then they tend to move away. And this happens to organizations. You know, in our
Yes.
country, we have a lot of challenge of celebrating the bad people, celebrating, those are not even having any value, and people are so self-centered and selfishness, it's already pulling us down, and that's what we call the subcultural norms. That people feel that except
Yeah.
it's done this way, it's not done that way, then you can't get the best result. But the truth is that I must say to you that this pandemic is exposing a lot of things. It is exposing a lot of things in the system, and even the people in governance are beginning to see their own weakness and failure. And that's why I said that there's a lot of change going on. Even if you look at US, you find that at a point that there are a lot of issues between be able to work as a team. You see the governor of New York, the guy crying, saying all sorts of things where trying to get the best hand from the federal government. But again, focusing on Nigeria, our
My
challenge.
child, my child, please, I want to, I'm bringing that as a motion, please. I know you're an activist. I
I'm
know
not,
you're,
I'm not an artist, though. I'm a
no,
professional,
no,
not
no,
an
no.
artist. Go
I
ahead.
see your, no, no, I see your work, I see your, yeah, yeah, yeah. But there's one thing I would like you to do for us. Please, I'd like you people to create an avenue where you can educate the masses, okay? Where they can speak their mind and the government will really hear and it will hit them. Like educating them in the forthcoming election that's going to come, educating them in like seizing their mind and building their confidence that no, this time we are not going to be bribed, we are not going to give in. This is what we want. This is what we want. At this time, we want it to be, we want our nation to be built and giving them the confidence. Building them. Let people